In our last video, we talked about how to log in for the first time. There are a lot of things to learn about a FreeToastHost site. It's an incredibly valuable tool. Because of that, there's a lot of stuff in there. But what I'm hearing specific questions about has to do with how you set up agenda for your club. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if the first template has to be done by the webmaster or if the VPE has these capabilities. I'm in there as an admin, as the web administrator. So I'm going to show you how to set up an agenda for the first time. We may have some stumbles in here as we go through it. We'll now go into meeting agendas. I'm going to click on the icon for create a new agenda. I'm going to set a date far in the future so that our club members do not think this is something that we're actually working on right now. I can always delete this later. You'll notice that you have the select an agenda template available there. The system templates have a couple of basic ones for 1 hour meeting, 2 speakers, 1 hour meeting, 3 speakers. I'm going to pick the 2 speaker one. And we will need to set the meeting start time. Our club happens to be a morning club, so I'm going to go ahead and put that, 7:30 in the morning time there. If you look at meeting description, there is a default in there, the club mission statement. For our club, we simply leave it like that. It's obviously possible to adapt this however you would like. This is what would appear at the top, as it says right here at the top of each meeting agenda. It's going to show that way on the website. I'm next going to meeting agenda items. It will tell you that you have to complete the setup before you can mess with this, so click Save. When it comes back, all of these roles are already filled in, including descriptions and such. So this is probably the easiest place to start. I will show you in just a moment how you can then save this as your basic template once you have finished with things. If you don't have an invocation, then you can take that out. What I'm not seeing there is the pledge, for example, which our club will typically do rather than an invocation. Unfortunately, you cannot simply edit it in order to change the name of the item. So what you need to do is to simply delete this. I clicked on the trash can, as I think you can see from my mouse button. Be careful with this because it does not ask you to confirm. It deletes whatever you click the trash can on. Scroll to the bottom and you can add a new item. And you can put a description in here. Maybe it's the Sergeant at Arms, whatever it is in your club. You get the idea. You can put a lot in here as far as the role and agenda. Scroll down a little bit more and you can set some things about this. We would probably allocate 1 minute for that. Obviously you can set however long you need to. This is a role for which members can sign up. If it's always going to be the Sergeant at Arms, just leave that unchecked. If it is something that people can sign up for, then great. And then we want it to show on the printed meeting agenda. If we were putting in a speech, there is, as I'll show you in a moment, a drop down where you can select the manual, add an intro. We'll take a look at that, but if this is a new speaking role, you would put that there. I would go ahead and click on Save. I have found it's better to save after just about anything that you do. Notice that it is down at the bottom of the agenda. If you come over to the time area, click your left mouse button and hold it, you can drag that where you want it to go. Now again, I have found it better to drag it up and drop it. Scroll down, grab it again, and drag it until you get where you want it to go. Hypothetically, and most of the time, you can just drag it and keep dragging, but sometimes it drops it in an odd place, and I have trouble finding it. So that's the way I prefer to do things. If you need to make an edit to something here, notice that the default is a 7-minute for speaker 1 and a 10-minute for speaker 2. They're looking at those more advanced manuals, I'm sure. If your club is at a place to where you're just not doing many of those advanced manuals, Then as a template kind of thing, you might edit it. I clicked the little pencil icon, change the duration to 7 minutes. Notice all three of these things are checked. Click Save. When we come back and scroll down to where that speech is, you will notice that everything after it has adjusted to take into account the duration. I don't know too many clubs that spend 20 minutes on table topics. You might want to change that, for example. Notice for all of these that you can, as the webmaster, assign somebody to that role that is simply for that meeting. It would not wind up in the template that way. That's basically how you go about editing, even creating an agenda. Now, if this is going to become your basic template, close this. Let the website reset, and then edit. When we go to Agenda Setup, there is a Save This Agenda as an Agenda Template button. Click that. Leave it at Add, or if you're replacing one, you could, which I don't want to do, but I could replace that basic meeting one. This is going to go in just in case it actually saves as temporary. And then click Save as Agenda Template. Now I don't want to actually save this one, so I'm going to cancel. But that gets it into a template form to where when you start your next scheduled agenda, then you can simply choose that one. For example, if I'm starting a new agenda, choose a meeting date, again, far in the future, just to make sure I don't accidentally make a member think this is something to sign up for. Under Create from Template, I can choose under your templates. In my case, it would be the basic meeting. You can have several of your own templates. You can choose from a previous meeting if it's something that was a variant and you're going to be varying in that same way again. All they are is starting points. We've kind of shown you not only how to do setups, but how to do basic editing within the agenda. So I think you're really all set for setting up agenda for your club meetings. If you have any questions, drop me email at donald.king@gmail.com, and I will be glad to help you where I can. Happy Toastmastering!